لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره صلى على محمد وعلى آله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah. Today I want to give a small reminder about something that I heard actually recently. Also, there was many people here today. I saw all the way to the back of the masjid, the sufuf were into the last row. Also, many people are coming for Tarawih. Many people are worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this blessed month in the nighttime, when they could be sleeping, spending time with their families after work, doing many things that giving them comfort, bring them joy. But rather, they're here in this masjid, worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is good. We're not going to take away from the sha'n of this. This is amazing. But I want to let you in on a little secret. Something that I've heard from many ulama, and that you will hear from many people, that is better than worship. There's a type of worship that's better than the worship that we are engaged in all day. You know, we come to this masjid, we pray in the nighttime, but what are we doing in the morning the whole time, you know, we're working, it's like that. Well, how do we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the morning? How do we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throughout our whole life, when we're sleeping or doing anything? And we notice that this is a type of worship, that when you're fasting, it's a type of worship, you're refraining from things. You're doing, you know, when you're at nighttime, you're worshiping, you're praying Qiyamul Layl, you're reading Quran. But something that many people don't give importance to, many people overlook and think that it's not a big thing, or maybe they just, you know, people don't talk about it as much, is rather than just doing these things, is that you leave a sin. More than you add something into your life where you add 2 rakahs in nawafil in the morning, or you start reading more Quran today, it's either as important, or even more important according to some ulama, that you leave a sin. Why? Because when you leave a sin, just in leaving that sin itself is a good reward. And then also you're staying away from what? More evil deeds. And those evil deeds might replace your good deeds. You know, scholars say that there's five levels of a thought. When a thought comes to you, you know, sometimes it just comes and goes like that. Sometimes it stays in your mind, and sometimes it's a thought that you are going to do, or that you have commitment that you're going to act upon it. That's called a zam. When you say that, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this sin, I'm going to do that. If you were to leave this thing itself, this zam, scholars say that you get reward for just that. If you get another one below that, it's called ham, where you're not going to do it, but you think about it, where you're just thinking about something that maybe, oh, if I sold this, I could have bought a nice car, I could have bought this nice thing. Even if you leave that, where you weren't even thinking about doing it, you'll still get reward for that. But you're not doing, technically, if you look at it from the perspective of the regular people, or most people, that you're not actually you're not praying salah, you're not reading Quran, you're not really doing anything. All you're doing is what? You're throwing out a thought, a fikr from your mind. Just for that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Just because you left a ma'asiyah, left something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like. And because we are in this month of Ramadan, alhamdulillah, some ulama, they said, scholars said a little while ago, إِنَّمَا هَذَا الشَّهْرِ كَالْفَرْمَلَةِ فِي السَّيَّارَةِ لِنَفْسِكَ. Means that this month, everybody has a car here, everybody knows how a car works. When you press the brake on a car, what happens? The rotors stop and the car slows down. This month is like the brakes for your nafs. That it's going to stop your nafs. That so the harder you press the brake, the more you leave things, the more sins you leave, the faster your car is going to slow down, the faster you're going to leave your sins. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put you in a month of what? He's locked up all the shayateen. He's made it, you feel much more sakina in the month of Ramadan than you feel outside the month of Ramadan. You find many more people in the masjid. Maybe you're going to the masjid because your family's going. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it much easier for you to do what? Not only come to the masjid to worship, but to leave a ma'asiyah. You might look at it, oh, I was reading 1 hour Quran and I only finished 4 pages. You might have read Quran for 1 hour, only read 4 pages, but in that 1 hour you left 1 hour of sins also. You're leaving many things that you could do. You might be coming to the masjid to pray, but you're also leaving a place where you are more enticed to commit sins. Is that not true? So it's important that in this month that not only do we focus on the ibadah, but also the sins that we are going to leave. And you can't just say that I'm going to leave a sin and that's it. Rasulullah, when one sahabi came to him, and he told him, I have a problem with drinking. Rasulullah said to him, he didn't just tell him, you know, ittaqillah, you should leave drinking, do this, do that. He gave him steps. He said, first, more or less, that you don't go around the things that remind you of this. You don't go around the gatherings where you're going to drink alcohol. You leave all that stuff. You leave that stuff that entices you to do something wrong. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the hurmatul khamr, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made alcohol haram, He didn't just bring it down right away and tell everybody do this. Because the nafs is not like, it's like a little baby. You have to train it. Yet when a baby wants to be breastfed, you don't just take it away one day and just throw it. You start doing less and less. You slow it down. You give it less and less of what it wants. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought down the hukm of khamr, I believe it was in 3 ayahs or 4 ayahs, in different times. He didn't just bring it upon them one time. And there's a Sahaba anhum. People be like, oh, they should be able to change one day. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows enough's better. He gave it to them in steps. First, what do? You don't come to salah when you are drinking. You don't drink at these times. You don't do this stuff. He gave them steps. He didn't tell them you leave it right away because it's not possible. Psychologically too, there's an article about this on Psychology Today, I believe it was, where if you try to leave everything at once, you try to burden yourself with too much, what's going to happen? You're going to end up becoming despondent and not being able to leave everything that you want to leave. And you're going to leave all of it. Rather, you should try to leave what you can, and you should work to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because remember, whatever you do, it's never going to benefit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or harm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's only for your benefit. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't, you take that single step, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take you the rest of the way. It's not up to you to do everything. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Rasulullah in this ayah that even if you love somebody, and Rasulullah used to love his uncle, obviously, Abu Talib, the one that helped him so much. Even if you love somebody and you work on them as much as you want, you will never be able to guide them because guidance is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even if you're trying, unless you're making this dua, unless you have sincere hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the maghfirah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you, you won't be able to do it. And this is honestly a blessing for ourselves. You can say it's a discount. You don't have to work as hard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do it for you. But nevertheless, you hope for the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you leave something, you take those steps, and then you hope that because of these small steps, this minuscule effort that you put in, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will carry you the rest of the way and help you. And as I said, this month, many scholars give the example of a fan. When you turn off the fan, it doesn't turn off right away, does it? It takes some time. Just like that, we're in this month, you're not going to leave the sins right away. It's going to take some time. But because we are in this month, there's barakah, there's so much, there's help Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is coming down more than it would regularly. So we find that it will be much easier to leave sins. And you might find a person that says that there's only 3 days left now of Ramadan, that I can't finish in 3 days. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wants, it's not that you will leave everything in one day, but you will find that determination in 1 minute, in 5 minutes, in 1 hour to leave every single sin. And this will be like you throwing a boulder down a hill. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the momentum and the ability from this one day, from these 2 nights, from these 3 nights, to leave every single sin you have. You won't leave it in one night. It's virtually impossible for you to leave every single thing one night, but you will find it easier and you'll find it as a routine. First day you go to the gym, you can't lift 200 pounds. Next day you come back, you keep going like that. It becomes easier. The trials, the things that you found hard to do the first day will become easier and you'll become much stronger. You build a muscle, you build your iman. It will become easier for you to leave these sins. So important, my brothers, that in this month, that not only that we think about that I'm going to go worship at night, it's enough for me. I'm going to read an extra juz today, that's enough for me. But how many sins am I leaving? How many times, whenever I look at this person, this woman, am I looking down? Am I leaving a sin for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Am I making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy? I could be doing so many good deeds, but I'm doing more sins than I'm doing good deeds. What's going to happen? They're going to outweigh each other. Every sin you leave, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you a good reward for that. It's just that you have to make the dua, you have to make just that first step. That's all you have to take. You're going down the hill, you just got to throw yourself over the hill, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will carry you the rest of it. You'll start rolling down, and after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of the rest. Just that small effort needs to come from us, my brother. You have to make that thought right now, that you can't just say that I'm going to leave a sin. You have to make khutuwat, you have to make steps. What am I going to do? Do I have a problem with anger? Then I won't sit around these people that make me angry. Whenever I'm angry, I'll turn around. Whenever I'm angry, I'll lay down, which is from what Rasulullah has advised us with. If I have pride in my heart, whoever gives salam first, he is free from pride. And Abdullah bin Barak says that, from Iman, one of the biggest parts of Iman is that you meet your brother with a beautiful countenance, that you meet him with a smile. And this will also take away the pride in your heart, that when you meet somebody you don't like, when you lower yourself, you humble yourself in front of a little kid, in front of a person that you see lower than you, when you smile in front of people, whenever you cry in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this will humble you too. There's so many different things. All you need to do is make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me the ability first to act on this, and all the brothers here. So, jazakallah khairan.